So eventually, the human beings could see that the reptilians were what they were up to. They understood what they were up to, and they have devised ways throughout history to get around that. But there are always those who will, just like in any war, because make no mistake, you are at war with the reptilians. That was one of the things that the Pleaidians, that was one of the things, not the good things, that they left here. It is not a war that you are out with your guns and things fighting all the time, but it is under the surface. It is a war. And there is always going to be some who go against their kind and side with the other side. Always in a war, that is the way it is. You understand? You will have seen this many times. So there are those people who are going to side with the reptilians. Now these groups of people that do this in your Earth context, they are already people who are in power. And there is a very sound belief that when somebody has power, their greatest fear is to lose the power. And you will see in time, you can even see it in your governments, that for a period of time, the Labour government are in power. Then for another period of time, then people change and they have the Liberals in power, and vice versa. You see this all the time. So it means that loyalties change. People want different people in power. These people, these families, these groups who have attained power understand this. Why? Because they probably created the situation that got the other people out of power in the first place, for them to take power. So they realize that they will lose power eventually. They do not want to, and it is their great fear that they will. If they lose power, they lose their wealth, they lose their status, they lose their way of life. They do not want this. So what do? First of all, it is not what they do, but the reptilians know this because they are the same. And they have seen it. As we said, they are not smart, but they are smart enough. They approach these people. These people are immediately charmed because it is exactly what they want. And so an alliance is forged. And there you have. This David Icke, he is not far wrong. He is not exactly right, but he is not far wrong. These alliances have been formed. From these alliances, these people, they stay in power. How is it possible? Times change. Technologies change. People change and develop. Yet these are the people that are still in power in your world. And nobody seems to question it. People do wonder, but they do not actively then question. So that is actually what people should be looking at. Yes, we wonder. We wonder why these people are still in power for so long. We are not talking years. We are talking generations. We are talking hundreds of years. These people have been in power, running the world, running the finances for generations. So then you must say, we wonder why. But that is not the question to be asked. The question is, why is everybody else not doing anything? Yes, there are the people like David Icke, and he runs around the world giving talks. So what he is doing is what he feels he's all he can do. He can bring people's consciousness to see this, because before they did not even see it. So this is what he is doing. Then sometimes there are protests. Protests very rarely get what they want. Very rarely. Because if the protest is not actually in the final interest of these people, it doesn't matter whether people get killed, whether people stop working for days on end, whether there is rubbish in the streets for weeks because people are striking. If it is not the end result that will give these people what they want, it does not matter what happens. So the question is, as we have said, why can people do nothing? Why do these sorts of things not work? This is the interesting question. The answer to this question is partly what David Icke says, that these reptilians are under the earth. They are hiding out. What is special about the earth? One thing that is special is gravitational pull. This happens on many planets, but that is one thing. The moon. What does the moon do? The moon is all about gravity and the gravitational pull. It is all about how the water comes in and comes out. Now, if you look at that, the human being is what? Made up of how much water? So, of course, the human being, are affected by the moon. You understand? Water in, water out. You see? You see the control. You see the control. Now, many people say then that the reptilians, the moon is a fake. It is not real. It was put there by the reptilians. They are wrong. But what is right about that statement is that the reptilians use the moon. They understand, because remember, they are very old. They have seen things. They are not the smartest, but they are old, and they have seen. And they understand how the moon can affect the way the earth runs, the way the people run. So it is not that the moon is put there by the reptilians, that they made this and put it there. But what it means is they understand how the moon works and the effect that it has on this planet. And that is what they use. That information is what they use. And until the people of this planet can work that out themselves, can fully understand, can they stand up and counteract what the reptilians do? That is the time that it will be a revolution on this planet. And that is the time that these people who are in power, who are supported by the reptilians, who are actually affiliated with the reptilians, that is when they can be overthrown. But not until that time. The human beings must understand how the moon affects not just the water, but the human being. It is not just that the water goes in and the water goes out. It is not just that. It is to do with gravity. It is to do with the water, and it is all to do with the human being. Forget what it does to the planet. Forget it. Look at what it does to the human being, one individual. Study one individual. Follow the moon cycle. Watch this person. Watch them from the physical level. What happens to their physical body? Do they get spots on their face? Do they sweat more? Are they hungry? All of these things. Watch these things. Because this is what the reptilians do. They say people are hungry. You see? They look at it just on an individual level. But then on a very global level, the people are hungry. We will withhold money. We will increase this, what is this called? Interest rates, and make them suffer because they are hungry. Do you understand what we are saying? So, look at the human being, one human being. So this is just on this one level. Then you look at the human being. How does it affect the emotional side of the human being? When are they happy? When are they sad? When are they angry? Look at the moon. Follow this moon cycle. Does it have anything to do with it? Yes, it does. The reptilians know this, and they teach these people. You look at when wars begin. You look at when wars begin. Many people have worked out that there are on certain auspicious days that wars begin, that especially with this United States of America, they start their wars on very specific dates. Why? It is the moon. It is the moon. Sometimes they think, it is a celebration of this. It is the celebration of the sun. La, 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 la. It is not. It is to do with the moon. What that particular moon, whether it is full, whether it is waning, whatever time, what type of moon it is, what that effect it has on the human being. Because they know that that is the time that the most force will come from this start of a war. Or maybe they do not want such a force. Maybe they want just a little bit. So they will go at a different time. Watch the moon. It is the moon. The reptilians know how the moon works. They know how it affects the planet. They know how it affects the individual. And they have taught this to these people.